now we come to the regular special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. And since our experts over here would recognize our famous guest on sight, we've provided them with blindfolds. Are all those blindfolds in place, panel?
Yeah.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Next to me. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we dispense with the usual amenities and get right down to the general questioning. Let's begin the general questioning with Miss Francis.
Are you in the entertainment business?
No, ma'am. No, that's one down the line to go. All right, Mr. Block.
Are you in the public eye?
Slightly.
Slightly? Well, have you ever been on television?
Yes.
You have been on television?
Yes.
Has it been a regular program?
No. Not as we accept regular programs. No, I don't think so. 2 down and 8 to go. Miss Kilgallen.
Would you say that you were on a special events program?
No. Well, now this, sir, gives us a little trouble. In special events, you mean the whole broad field of programs for the Red Cross and that sort of thing, Miss Kilgallen? Anything that's outside of the normal entertainment
Can we
program?
have a little conference for a second?
That's right.
Well, in that context, I think we can say yes, and that this is not a regular weekly studio program, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. You say you're not in the entertainment world.
No.
By that, are you ruling out the sports world, too?
Yes.
Are you in what is loosely called public life?
Yes.
Are you in politics?
Yes.
Is it New York politics?
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Seth.
Are you in federal politics?
Yes.
Are you at present mixed up in a very famous investigation?
Are you at present mixed up in a very famous investigation? Yes.
Hey, Bennett, find out if people are happier on account of what he does.
Are you on the right side of this investigation?
I hope so.
That was.
Are you one of the people who has been going all around the country with this investigation?
Yes.
Are you a senator?
Yes.
Well, now, who could this be? We may have
Stop pulling the wings off flies, Mr. Seth.
Well, we ought to give the head man the first crack. Are you Senator Kefauver?
Yes.
I just wanted to tell the senator I love his new show, What's My Crime?
I'm glad to be meeting you here tonight, Senator.
Yeah, under these kind of auspices. As a matter of fact, are you sure you want to be shown on television or just your hands?
You've been doing a brilliant job. We're delighted that you're on our panel.
As a matter of fact, and the program itself is one of the most interesting programs. I think they've shown that while you're on, half the cafes and the shows and everything are empty. So you've got a mighty fine rating in addition to being a senator.
Well,
We'd like to have your rating.
Senator Kefauver has asked me to send his check for $50 to Hiwassee College in Madisonville, Tennessee, which is his home state, and it's to be donated to the student fund. Is that right, sir?
That's right.
Dr. Rowell is the president. We send it down to him.
That's correct.
Well, that's a very generous move, and we expect it from you. Thanks very much for being our guest and What's My Line tonight. You come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please. join me over here. As you know, panel, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we always dispense with preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you in any form of the entertainment business?
I would say not.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Are you perhaps closer to the political arena?
I would say so.
Am I correct in guessing that you are not, however, a politician?
Well, what is a politician, Mr. Allen?
There's a hard one for you,
This
Steve.
may take a little time.
Friends, I'm glad you asked me that. A politician
Is a man who...
is a man... No, I'm sorry, John. I mean, are you something other than, say, an office holder?
Something other than an office holder, by which you mean appointed office
Yeah,
holder.
like a governor, or a senator, or a congresswoman, or something.
Are you asking now
Are you something other than those things I mentioned, or something pretty close to them?
something other than a governor, senator, congressman, or something like that? That makes it 2 down and 8 to go. Thank you very much. Miss Francis.
Oh, then you are something more like a governor, a senator, or a congresswoman.
Yes.
Are you elected to office?
Yes.
Yes. Do you represent... Do you represent one of the largest states in the Union?
No.
No, I don't think so. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Are you a member of the United States House of Representatives?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, do you represent one of the smaller but mightier states of the Union?
Yes.
Is it by any chance the great state of Maine?
Yes.
Are you the senator from Maine,
You are right.
Mrs. Smith?
That's right. Margaret J. Smith, Senator from Maine. It's so nice to have had you with us. Would you say hello to the panel? Will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we dispense with all usual preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with, well, let's see, Arlene Francis.
Well, judging from the applause, I take it that you are a performer.
That's
That kind of a performer. Would you consider yourself a leading man?
Rather.
And have you appeared in pictures?
Yeah.
Are you best known for your performances in pictures? As opposed to the theater?
Sure, and I think she's right there. I think I would.
I think so, too.
Have you got just one head? There are so many dialects. It is just one person?
Yabo.
And are you associated with one particular studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Sir.
Have you ever done any work on television and radio?
Yeah.
When you do perform, do you do anything at all of a musical nature?
Holy Toledo, no.
No?
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Have you done serious dramatic parts in pictures?
Oh, yeah.
Are you, despite all the funny voices and everything, are you good-looking and considered a dreamboat type by the girls?
Well, you have your answer there, Miss Dorothy.
I'm torn.
I've got some Scotch tape.
Thank you, Steve. I think I'm going to need it. Were you ever in a picture with Ann Sheridan?
Yeah.
Were you ever in a picture where a terrible operation was performed on you while the camera was on you?
Well, I don't like her.
I think yes is the answer to that, Mr.
Was it King's Row?
Yeah.
Are you Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan is right. Thank you very much, Ronald Reagan. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we dispense with all of the usual preliminary questioning, get right down to the general and basic questioning, and we'll begin it tonight with Mr. Bennett Cerf.
Well, I judge that your face is familiar to the public because of the applause that greeted your appearance. Does your picture appear in the paper occasionally?
Yep.
You're a man.
That's true. Would you, by any chance, be in the sporting world of some kind?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
But you are used to appearing before the public. Would you consider yourself a public figure? Are you known to people all over the United States?
You mean all 160 million?
No, but I mean, are you a personality that is well known to all, like Clark
I would
Gable?
say that our guest tonight is well known to the degree that anyone has a national reputation or a national identification, yes.
Oh. Are you a national figure? By that I mean, do you have something to do with the nation as opposed to the entertainment world?
Well, that's the beauty, isn't it? We can flip a card in that for good. 2 down, 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
There could be 2 reasons why Arlene got a no on that, and I don't know what either of them is. Now that I think it over, I'll probably take the wrong one. Am I correct in assuming that you are not an actor?
Right.
Well, that's what I said.
That's what I thought you said.
Well, we can all get together after the show. Are you, you're not an actor, you're not a sport. Are you in, very loosely speaking, or even tightly, the political arena?
Yes.
Well, then the other reason, or the other reason that Arlene must have gotten a no is on the word national. Are you a political figure on some other basis, either state or local?
Yes.
By George, I feel smart tonight.
Oh.
Let me see. Up to now, I feel smart. Don't anybody go away. Oh, dear. Have you been elected?
Yes.
Have you been elected to office within the past 5 years?
Yes.
You've been doing all right. Have you been elected to office within the past 2 years?
Yes.
Are you smaller than a bread bottle?
I've just 2 more questions. One is, do you know where Judge Crater is?
No.
I only have one name in mind. Are you Mayor-elect Wagner?
That's right.
Arlene, I didn't mean to be difficult, but at the same time, I didn't want to mislead the panel and get you into the area of a national office, which is why I was fencing with you so much.
It's quite all right, John. Anything to keep the mayor on as long as possible.
Nice to have the mayor with us, and I must say, sir, that we appreciate that your job next to that of the presidency and 1 or 2 of the more difficult governorships is about as difficult a chore as the public can put on the shoulders of one man.
I agree with that, Judge.
I'm sure you do.
Could I ask Mr. Mayor a question, John?
Yeah, sure.
What are you going to do about the traffic around here, Mr. Mayor?
Now, listen, the mayor's here to have some fun with us, Bennett.
We'll take care of it.
Actually, the mayor's here on something that is much more important than traffic, and without any further ado, I will ask you to tell us what it is, sir.
Well, very briefly, John, I had hoped that we could have raised a little more money through my appearance for the March of Dimes because I wanted to contribute to the...
That's
Thank
easy.
you.
That's easy.
The March of Dimes, and... The drive starts tomorrow, not only here in New York City, but throughout the entire country. And we're very happy that one of the panel here, Mr. Steve Allen, will be the master of ceremonies. Maybe that's why he did so well tonight. At City Hall tomorrow to get the drive underway here, and I know the citizens of New York, as always, will contribute in great fashion to a wonderful and worthy cause.
I'm sure they will, sir, and our thanks to you for being our guest and for coming down to see us. Will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? Pardon me. All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Bennett, sir.
Well, those guests of pleasure would seem to indicate somebody that's pretty much in the public eye. Are you used to being recognized at sight?
No. That's 1 down and 9 to go.
Nice.
That answer may bother you a bit later, Bennett, but I think you'll understand why you got the no when it's all over. All right, Miss Kilgallen?
Well, I'm baffled. Are you in any form of the entertainment business, including sports?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is this fellow working?
Yes, he is.
Not in the entertainment world. Are you perhaps in the political arena?
Yep.
Ooh, on the national level?
Yep.
Work in Washington?
Yep.
Are you connected with the legislative branch of the government?
Yep.
Well, let me see. 2 parties. This is a wealthy show. Are you a Republican?
Yep.
What's new? Oh, dear. Now, let's see. Are you from the eastern half of the country?
Nope.
3 down and 7 to go, Mrs. Smith.
Would we have seen you recently on television?
Yep.
You would have been in the McCarthy Army hearings at some time?
Yep.
And you would have been sitting on the right side of Senator Munt, is that correct?
Nope.
Oh,
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Smith.
Well, could it be that you have been seen occasionally smoking various vile kinds of cigars and had a birthday while the hearings were going on? It is Senator Munt, isn't it?
It is Senator Munt, that's right. Well, I must say, Senator Munt, that it's wonderful to meet you, that I've come of the opinion in these past several weeks that in this moderating game, you probably can take awards from everybody. You had one of the toughest runs of all of them, and I think you handled it with great wisdom, great discretion, and great patience. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you, John, and I wish we could have had this panel there and your capacity to get a yes or no answer.
Well, I think perhaps, as I meant to say initially, or meant to suggest, my job is a good deal easier than yours was, but you did a grand job, and we do thank you for coming up and sharing a Sunday evening with us.
Good to be here, but I should be entitled to say no to Burnham's question about that vile cigar.
Only question. Would you go over and say hello to the panel? They'd like to see you.
Senator, I want you to know...
Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we dispense with all of the usual preliminaries and get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Arlene Francis.
Are you used to appearing before audiences?
Yes.
Weekly. Would you be considered a performer?
No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Jourdan.
Are you in any way in the entertainment field?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, by entertainment, you are not ruling out sports, are you?
No, we're not ruling out sports.
All right. Are you in sports?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Ellen.
Are you in politics? Yes.
Not for long.
Do you use this voice when you're performing your political...
Well, you're going to get a no with that unless you rephrase it.
Well, I retract the whole thing. I'm non-existent at the moment. Are you employed here in New York City?
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Would you consider your base Washington?
Oh, yes.
Are you elected to office?
Yes.
Are you a member of Congress?
Yes.
Pretty powerful one, too, eh? Now, let's see. The House of Representatives. Are you a member of the Senate?
Yes.
Have you been on the front pages in the last month? Importantly. I'm sure you're important, whatever you are, but I mean, so that we would have paid special attention to a statement that you might have made.
Yes.
Are you a Democrat? You can't be shaky about that unless you're Wayne Morse.
Yes.
Now, let's see. How many Democrats are there? A Democratic senator in the front pages recently. Well, have you made some statements that have been printed regarding President Eisenhower's statement on Formosa?
No. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Jourdan.
Boy.
Would you say that your face seen by most of the American public would be instantly recognizable?
I would answer that one, if I may, Louis, and say yes, the face would be recognized very quickly. In most instances.
I see. Should I hear myself as a Frenchman, your voice as it really is, do you believe that I would recognize it?
Well, I'll count that as a question just in the general area of information. I would think perhaps not, but then I'm not fully conversant with how much time you've spent here. But I think it's likely you would not recognize it immediately.
I see. Do you speak often on the radio, for instance, or in television? Do you appear on television, radio?
No. Oh, wait a minute. I'll give, with our guest's permission, I will say that our guest does appear and can appear on radio and television, and has in the past.
This is very interesting. Do you believe that you are known in France?
Won't help.
I must concentrate on the French element, you see.
I would say this. I think we'll give you a no on that with this qualification. It is certainly possible that a substantial element of the governmental area of France might know our guest, but I do not think that the ordinary citizen of France would. So we'll give you a no on that. That's 6 down and 4 to go. Miss Kilgallen. We have only 2 minutes to go.
Well, I'm really in the dark, so I might as well get a news item out of this anyway. Are you likely to be a candidate for president or vice president in 1956? No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Allen.
I know it's not Senator McCarthy.
Congratulations.
That's the first time I've been right tonight. It gets down to personalities now. I don't know. It's not Senator McClellan, is it?
All right, Fred, you can take off. This is the first time I think anybody ever backed into a correct answer, and you backed into that one. It's not Senator McClellan, is it? It most certainly is Senator McClellan.
Conceivably, I was...
Now, actually, I have a very interesting question. Louis, would you have recognized Senator McClellan's voice if he had spoken in normal tones?
No, voice, no.
You wouldn't
You saw him during the committee investigation.
Well, of course,
but you would not. Well, then I feel much better because I feel I gave you a correct answer. And, Senator, may I say thank you for being a most happy guest on What's My Line. It's lovely to have you. Will you take the mic and stand first? Will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our Mystery Challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise. We'll begin it all with Bennett Cerf.
Well, there was no whistling and more applause after the name was signed than before. Is it correct that you are not in show business?
I am not.
It's a man.
Miss Kilgallen?
For goodness sake, are you in politics?
It has a relation to politics. Mr. Allen?
What does that mean?
That it has a relation to politics.
Are you in the Republican Party?
I am. Miss Francis?
If it has a relation to politics, are you appointed rather than elected?
I am. Mr. Cerf?
Have you anything to do with the Secretary of State in Foreign Affairs?
I have something to do with foreign affairs. Miss Kilgallen?
Are you in the cabinet?
I am.
I think I know your voice, and I'm not going to pass, and I may be wrong, but I would say that you are Senator Lodge.
That's right, Fred. You and I come from the same hometown.
Yes, sir?
Oh, it is.
Is it right?
Right. That's right. Ambassador Henry Cabot
I'm so
Lodge,
seldom
Jr.
right, I didn't dare take it off. I thought that...
I was afraid of Fred,
Well,
Mr.
he's a
Ambassador.
Bostonian. He
Yes,
spotted my brogue right away.
Yes, just the second time around I heard I recognized the voice.
I was just hoping that Fred would confuse your Boston accent with my inherited Boston accent, but he didn't get confused. So
I'd like to know how the senator got his voice out of his nose. Mine is still up there.
It takes years of training. Because actually, all of the panel know, and I'm sure all of you folks at home know, that Ambassador Lodge is our representative to the United Nations. And if I'm not intruding, sir, upon your work hours and not asking questions you don't want to answer, You probably have to deal with our Russian friends in the UN more than anybody else. Is there any formula for getting along with them, or how do you get along with them?
Well, every time that a communist speaks in the United Nations, I make it a point to speak myself. So that in the news story that goes out over the world, there's always something about the viewpoint of the United States of America.
And this is the formula that works.
That's my formula.
Actually, and not meaning to pin any poses on you in this bright light of publicity, that one of the things that happened when you went to the UN was that the Russians, every time they did get up and spill their propaganda, were met immediately with the United States arguments, and I think it's done a great service for the country. This is all I had to say, really, about it.
Well, that's very nice.
Nice of you to come and see us. I must tell you one thing, that we were hoping that you'd get into the entertainment side of it and ask the ambassador if he was on television. He was going to say yes, quite a bit, and he is. He's on the U.S. television all the time.
Senator, you know, it is tricky. We've been playing this game quite a while, and with our blindfolds on, we listen to the applause. And if there's a lot of applause after you've signed in, more than when you have signed in, that usually means that somebody in the audience doesn't readily recognize. And that's how we went on.
That helps a lot. Miss Kilgallen?
Doesn't help me a bit. I thought from the applause and the quality and the kind of applause that it was a very curvaceous girl like Julie London. It was going to be my guess.
No, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much, sir, for being our guest. You come in and sign in, please. All right, nice to have you with us. Panel, as you know, when we ask you to put your blindfolds on, there's an area of identification that we feel might give you some information that would make things too easy for you. So here again, you have your blindfolds on. We'll not tell you either the hometown of our guest. We want to see what you can do completely in the dark. We've already told our audiences, both of them, our guest's line, so let's just get started right out. I will tell you one thing. Our guest is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Well, are we wearing our masks because it's possible that one or all of us might recognize you if we weren't?
Could be.
You're a man, right?
Yes.
Is it possible that your name has appeared in the newspapers within the past week?
Occasionally, yes.
If it has appeared, would it be anywhere in the neighborhood of page 1?
Well, Bennett, if I might be allowed, I would say this, that I don't think that our guest, nor, as a matter of fact, do I feel that I could absolutely guarantee it was on page 1 of a specific paper. But I will say that our guest's name has very likely appeared on page 1 in the past week, yes.
Thank you. Would that be because you have any connection whatever with the political scene?
Yes.
You are in politics?
Yes.
And you're salaried. Have you got some kind of an office to which you were elected?
Yes.
Do you at present hold that office?
Yes.
Is it an office in the national government?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
State government?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Winchell.
City government? Yes.
Clever.
Well, what? Well, that's true, but what else was left there? Well, I guess it would help to try to determine what city it would be. Would it possibly be the city that we are in right now? No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would it be the city in which one of the national political conventions is going to be held?
Yes.
Well, are you the mayor of Chicago?
Yes.
And I must say I announce with some pride, although my friend the mayor of Chicago has an E in his name. His name is Daley. Richard J. Daley.
Ralph, isn't it?
Richard J. Daley.
Richard Daley.
Mayor
With
of
an R.
Chicago. But he spells it D-A-L-E-Y.
That's right, John.
And I never have figured out why I don't have the E and you have it, and I guess we don't have enough time to figure it now. Well, needless to say, sir, I think a lot of us and our little gang here are going to be your guests in Chicago. I think it's very nice of you to come east to see us, and especially at a time when you're going to pay host to just about as big a show as anybody ever sees anywhere.
You mean what's my line?
Well, no, what? No, I was talking. No, Bennett's right. We are going to be in Chicago next week, but I was thinking about the convention. Must be a tough job.
Well, John, we're very happy to have you and your fine panel out there with What's My Line next week, and we hope that the hospitality of Chicago will impress not only the panel, but all the news commentators, as well as the radio and delegates and visitors. And we hope you'll stay and see something of the new Chicago.
Well, I'll say this, if I may. These pair of conventions will be my 10th and 11th conventions, and I've seen a lot of Chicago in convention time. And without detracting from the worth of any other city, I know of no city in the country that handles a convention as well as your town.
Thank you very much.
You get a lot of credit.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to have you. Will our first contestant come in and sign in, please? All right, panel, I have a small question to ask our guest. You familiar with the way we keep score?
Yes, I am.
In that event, let's let the folks at home and our friends who are here in the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. Needless to say, panel, you have been asked to blindfold yourselves because there is an area of identification here about which we felt we might have some small alarm. It could be either in the writing or in the appearance, in the costuming, any one of the areas which will give you a clue. We do, however, want to be fair, so we'll give you the standard first piece of information. Our guest is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Miss Kilgallen.
Has your picture appeared in a New York newspaper within the last 2 weeks?
Yes, it has.
Within the last week?
Yes, it has.
Do you think that all four of us would recognize you on sight?
No, I don't.
One down, 9 to go.
I mean, you don't think we read the papers?
Mr. Hayes.
Well, I'm at a slight disadvantage here. I can't think even with my eyes open. You can imagine how I stand now. Do you deal in services?
Yes, I do.
Would I be happy to avail myself of your services?
You could.
I could, huh? Would a lady also avail herself of your services?
Yes, they could.
Would children?
Yes, they would too.
You make peanut butter sandwiches?
Yes, I do.
Doesn't everybody? And you have been in the local newspapers. Was it nationally that you were in newspapers or just locally here in New York in the last week?
I think just in New York.
Just in New York.
I was going to say that's a very difficult question to answer yes or no, Peter Lind, Hayes.
Well, what I was about to get at, does it have anything to do with the federal branch of the government?
No, it has not.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Since your answer to Dorothy and would we all recognize you on sight was negative, would it be correct for me to assume that you are not in any part of the theatrical world?
Yes, that's right.
Do you have anything to do with government?
Yes, I do.
Would it be, if it is not federal government, would it be state government?
Yes, it is.
Now, you do not sound like an Easterner. Would I be correct in assuming... Oh, I don't think so. He says do.
We will now have a small pause while we
Well, all right. Separating the country from east, let's see, as far as... Could you come from someplace west of and including Chicago?
Yes.
Now, Dorothy, say you're sorry.
I bet he went to a terribly good Eastern prep school.
State government. Are you elected to office?
Yes.
You therefore work for a non-profit-making organization.
Yes.
Have you recently been elected to office?
Yes, I have.
Are you? No. Would you be at the top level in state politics, in state position?
Yes.
Would that be the governor of a state?
Yes, it would.
In your question, is our guest a governor of a state?
You're trying to catch me. Obviously, if the election just took place, he isn't governor yet, unless he's been reappointed.
It could be Ribicoff.
It's not Ribicoff. He's from west of Chicago.
He doesn't have to be born in Connecticut.
Well, Peter just suggests California. Brown. Is it governor to be Pat Brown?
I've got one question which I've got to have answered, panel, if I can take some advantage of my position. Edmund G. translates into Pat how?
Well, when I was in high school, they started calling me Pat because I made a speech selling Liberty bonds a long, long time ago, and I ended my speech by saying, give me liberty or give me death. And they called me Patrick Henry Brown, and it was shortened to Pat, and it's been that way ever since.
Wonderful,
John,
Pat. I'm glad to know that.
Governor like Brown a question?
Yes.
You made a statement, you were quoted, Governor Brown, as saying that you used the same methods in California that Averell Harriman used in New York. Now, how do you explain your being elected by a million majority, whereas Governor Harriman lost by 550,000?
He used the method with the right people.
I can't answer that question tonight. It'd take me too long.
It's also,
After the program.
it's also, I think, probably, isn't it, Governor, if we may now use your coming title.
I'm not used to it yet.
No, well, I think you're going to have a long chance to be used to it.
I hope so.
That's part of the drama, I guess, of politics, actually, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think the election night is probably the most dramatic episode in your entire life.
Let me ask you another question about this election eve, you know, after the polls were all about to close. Did you have fears about the outcome, or were you reasonably sure that everything was well in hand and that you were going to be elected?
Well, I think a politician is always optimistic, and I thought that I would win, but I was prepared for losing, too.
That's a good idea, too. Well, it's been wonderful to share a few minutes of your busy time. And thanks for being our guest. Nice to have you. May we now have our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Norma Walker. All right. Is it Miss or Mrs. Walker?
Mrs. Walker.
Mrs. Walker, and where are you from, ma'am?
Aurora, Colorado.
Aurora, Colorado.
Yes, sir.
Very nice to have you with us. Mrs. Walker, may I present the panel? And now, if you'll join me over here, please, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. Panel, we can tell you that Mrs. Walker is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mrs. Walker, may I take it for granted that you had nothing whatever to do with the blackout in the northeastern states on Monday?
Yes.
You weren't even here.
No, I was not.
Do you perform your service in Colorado?
Yes, I do.
Is it a service that is done for men and women?
Yes, it is.
Do you come into any kind of physical contact with the people for whom you're performing the service?
No.
Not necessary contact to the performance of the service. This doesn't rule out the possibility that there might be handshakes or something like that, Bennett. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, Miss Walker, is what you do something that does pertain to the public?
Yes.
Are you in any sense a performer?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is your work more physical than mental?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Carlyle.
Do you perform your service, Mrs. Walker, in an office? Indoors?
Sometimes.
Are you sometimes outdoors?
Yes, I would say that it's the character of service which might require that some activity would take place occasionally outdoors, although I think we would agree that the bulk of the service, as it is rendered, is under some kind of shelter. Would that be fair, Mrs.
That
Walker?
is very fair.
Do the people who use your services feel better after they've seen you?
Sometimes, I think, is the real good answer to that.
Are they better mentally?
Well, we would have to agree that if they came for the service and having received it were very much satisfied with the service, there would be a sense of well-being. In that sense, yes.
Do you have to have a degree for what you do?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Walker, do you do your service for a non-profit making organization?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with either the ceremony of marriage or babies?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you associated in any way with any of the armed services?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen.
Have you anything to do with the law?
Sometimes.
Do you ever apprehend anyone?
No.
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Carlyle.
Do you have anything to do with the penal code in any way?
We would have to agree that overall, in the long, broad view of the responsibilities, yes, there is a relationship.
Do you ever have anything to do with courtrooms?
No.
No. 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Then we can rule out private eyes and detection, can we?
Yes.
But you do have some relationship with the law.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a degree to do what you're doing.
No.
Do you work for a judge or a lawyer?
No.
No, that's 9 down and 1 to go. Let me stress again that we said in the very broad view of the responsibilities, which are Mrs. Walker's, there could be certainly a relationship with the law, but in a very broad view. Miss Francis.
Do you use any equipment in your job other than yourself and a pencil?
No.
That's 10 down and no more to go, and I'm happy to introduce Mayor Norman Walker of Aurora, Colorado. Actually, Mrs. Walker is you're the first woman mayor
Yes.
of Aurora. It's 65,000 population, the 4th largest city in the state of Colorado. And you were elected last Tuesday, and the first thing that Mrs. Walker did was to reduce her salary.
Mrs. Walker, may I ask you what party you're affiliated with?
This was a nonpartisan election.
We have those too.
we have those in New
You're
York.
being evasive. What do you usually register as?
A Democrat.
Well, Bennett drove that to ground.
Mrs. Walker is so pretty, I'm sure everybody voted for her.
Thank you.
They
Not
should.
quite.
And thank you, Mrs. Walker, so soon after entering on such good and high office, coming to visit
Thank
us.
you very
It's
much.
very nice. Will you enter Mystery Challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, different form of questioning this time. One question at a time, in turn moving clockwise, and we'll begin things with Phyllis Newman.
That was an extraordinary reception. Are you somewhat of an institution?
I may answer that question and say certainly yes. Mr. Morgan.
Are you a male institution?
See. Miss Francis?
Well, are you making a picture here in the East?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Sir.
Well, there's a great big all-star baseball game coming up. Have you got anything to do with the sports world?
No? 9. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Newman.
Are you tall and wildly attractive?
We. Mr. Morgan?
I didn't, Paula, you're tall and wildly attractive? I really, I couldn't hear the answer because of the are you President Johnson?
9. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
I don't care who you are. I hope you stay forever. Are you Rock Hudson?
Yes. No, that's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Are you in something other than the entertainment business?
Yes.
We can't hear the
Miss Newman.
answer.
He is.
Are you
Yes.
just the most adorable mayor there's ever been?
P. No, that's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Morgan.
What are you doing about the trouble with the buildings up? Well, I may have the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Are you the mayor of New York?
That's no. 6 down
You
and 4 to go,
misled me.
Miss Francis.
Oh, dear.
Are you indeed in government?
C. Mr. Cerf.
Oh. Do you sometimes, on the side, make a record or two? Are you Senator Dirksen?
Elected to the House of Representatives in 1932, to the Senate of the United States in 1950, and in 1966 made his, I guess, your first recording. Of course, not the first one for national distribution. It became an instantaneous hit. And in 1967 has made another recording for Capitol Records. Man is Not Alone.
Man is not alone.
And knowing a bit about Washington and having had the joy, if I may say so, sir, of knowing the senator since 1937, when I first went to Washington, I know that he feels that one of the problems that we all suffer from these days is a malaise of the spirit. And Man is Not Alone is a return to some of the values which, as a boy, he learned and knew in Illinois, which he thinks will help all of us. That's right. And I think with you doing the record, sir, it's got to be inspire a lot of people. Wonderful to have you.
John, I try to make it so.
And wonderful to have you. And I must say, you're such a wonderful sport. You had as much fun here as we did while they rock Hudsoned all over the place and mayored all over the place. So good to see you again, sir.
I bet you we do.
Mystery challenger, would you enter and sign in, please?
Panel, our mystery guest has arrived and is now seated beside me. May I remind you, please, it's one question at a time.
I'll give you 3 minutes to try and establish the identity of our mystery guest. And let's begin the questioning with Gene Rayburn.
Yeah, let's. Hello, mystery guest.
Hi.
I know who it is. No, I'm only kidding. Mystery guest, there were a lot of yays in the audience, especially from young boys, it sounded like to me. Are you connected with sports?
No.
Well,
Brenda.
see, I'm wrong.
Are you in the entertainment field?
No, not really.
May I say no positively?
Oh, really?
Joanna Barnes.
Are you in politics?
Yes.
Bennett.
Do you hold an elected office?
Yes.
Gene.
Is that elected office on a national level?
Yes.
Brenda.
Are you a Democrat?
No.
Joanna.
Let's see, what else is there? I'll think of it. Hang on there. You hold an elected office. Are you a senator?
No.
Bennett.
Are you a member of the House of Representatives?
Yes.
Gene.
Not a Democrat. Too bad. How'd they get Mr. Nixon up this early? Are you elected to the Congress from the state of New York, and is your constituency somewhere around New York City?
No, sir. No, sir.
Questions.
No, sir, to both questions.
Thank you. Got 2 in there for the
Brenda?
first one.
How about New England?
No, ma'am.
No. Does anyone have a guess?
How about California?
No.
Take off your blindfolds and meet House Minority Leader Jerry Ford. Oh, it's so good to see you. I've missed seeing your smiling face, Congressman.
Well, Wally, we miss you down in Washington.
I see you occasionally on Cronkite or Huntley Brinkley or the Frank Reynolds Show, but nothing's like, trading barbs back and forth face to face like we did for a long time.
Well, you were an expert at that.
So were you. Jerry used to say that he could answer any, ask any question you want to, and he assured us that he'd answer every question to his own satisfaction.
Do you ever see our old panel moderator, John Charles Daly, down in Washington?
As a matter of fact, I saw him just the other day, and he was thoroughly enjoying a golf game.
Well, now, I'll look forward to maybe someday having time to play golf, too. Maybe I can succeed John in that respect also.
Is it Burning Tree?
That's right, and he did very well.
Did he?
Congressman, I haven't put you on the political spot for a long time, and now all of a sudden, we have a Republican administration nationally, and you're in the Congress, but you still got a Democratic majority in both houses. What does this do to a Republican administration?
Well, let me say, Wally, I'm enjoying the situation a little bit more than I did the previous 4 years, but we still are in a minority, and we have to deal with the Democratic majority just as we did in the past, except we're trying to help Mr. Nixon's program rather than present a few obstacles to the previous administration. It has been a real challenging situation, and I hope we're doing all right.
I guess it sort of takes the sting out of it when you lose a roll call vote on the House floor and then you go down to the White House to cool off that night for dinner or something. It sort of makes it a little better, doesn't it?
Well, Wally, we've done reasonably well so far, and I must say that the Democratic Speaker, John McCormick, and Carl Albert, the Democratic Majority Leader, have been really very helpful to the President, and I think I can speak for the President by saying that he's grateful, and so are we.
Thank you, Jerry Ford.
Thank you very much.
Would our first challenger enter and sign in, please? I can tell you about Mr. X is that he provides a service, and we will now show the audience who our guest is and what his line is. And let's begin the questioning with Arlene Francis.
Well, they're crazy about your service. Would I be?
About my service?
Probably.
I think so.
Is it a service that has to do with women?
Yes, it certainly does. Not enough.
Well, I'll see if we can fix that. Is it a service that has anything to do with the way a woman looks?
Not really. 1 down, 9 to go, Soupy.
Well, he looks like the singer Don Cherry with hair, doesn't he? Mr. X, are you, let's see, you provide a service for women?
Women are provided for under his service.
I hope so. Is this anything to do with the world of fashion?
No.
2 down, 8 to go, Donna.
I know Mr. X has a very spiritual quality. Does he recruit nuns?
To do what?
I don't believe
No.
that has to do with women.
Not only is it a no, but before I throw it over, I'm really dying to know how that came to you. Gene?
The odd thing is that if he did recruit nuns, nobody would believe that she didn't know it beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume, another one of my assumptions, that whatever service you provide has your name in it. Is that right? Is that why you only wrote? I assume that's why. Or maybe you know how to write your name, no?
That's a yes.
So, the name of your service has your name in it, but it's not
No, nobody said that. Is that what you're assuming?
I want to know if his name would reveal to us the service he provides, what we're trying to find.
I think it would.
Right. But you're saying his name does not... Now, next question. Formal official question. Does your name appear in the business name of the service you provide?
No.
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Arlene.
I can rule out that you are a government official of any kind, can't I?
No.
Oh, you fresh...
5 down and 5 to go, Soupy.
Oh, are you a government official of some kind? Okay. Now, is this take place on a national level? When I say in the Washington vicinity?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Donna.
Can I rule out?
Don't do it my way, you'll get in trouble.
That you're Uncle Sam. No. Oh. The government official that provides a service?
All government officials provide a service.
Does it have anything to do with the postal service?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Gene.
You are a non-federal official, is that correct?
That's correct.
Are you a state official?
That's correct.
Are you a governor?
Yes.
That's it. He is Governor Jimmy Carter of the state of Georgia. He also has a political function which is on a national level, which made that kind of a hard question to answer because he has dual functions. He's also chairman of the 1974 National Democratic Party Campaign Committee. Right now, I suppose that looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Not bad. Not bad.
Son of a gun, it's funny how that works. Huh?
I just wondered if he'd be interested in recruiting nuns.
I might have time if the Republicans keep on.
Governor, I understand that you've done a number of really innovative things in Georgia. Could you tell us about some of them?
Well, we cut down 300 departments to 15. We put in a new budgeting system, and we've had a good program for recruiting motion pictures to Georgia. We have gotten into the motion picture business in a big way.
But do you have that consistent weather down there?
Oh, yes. We have about 300 days a year of good shooting time. We've
That's
never had a
amazing.
film yet that came in over the budget or over the time schedule, so.
I didn't know that. That's really amazing. Does it get cold down there? What are you going to do about
Just
the
right.
energy crisis, like, for example?
Well, the temperature is almost perfect. The first big movie we made in Georgia was Deliverance a year or so ago, and both John Voight's been back to make another film, and we have just finished one in our state prison, Reidsville, which is called The Longest Yard. With
You know,
Burt
there's a
Reynolds.
question I've always wanted to ask somebody. What do you do on a rainy night in Georgia?
You look for peaches.
You go to underground in
I think
Georgia.
down the nose.
Go to underground Atlanta.
Underground Atlanta.
Governor, we're very grateful to you for taking time off from your many duties to come on What's My Line and play with us. And we hope that at some future time you'll come back and play with us again.
I will. Come down to Georgia to see us.
All right, we'll come down here and make a movie. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back with more of What's My Line right after this message.
Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Transportation for contestants on What's My Line is arranged by United Airlines. What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Topham.